Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the second division of the Arkansas Derby, run this year on the first Saturday in May. It was all about Bob Baffert's Nadal. He is the number 5, breaking from post position 4. And as they leave the gate, we know that Nadal is very fast. But I like what Florent Giroux did with Wells Bayou. Breaking from the far outside post, he took the race to Nadal early. Listen, Wells Bayou just wired the field in the Louisiana Derby. He tried to do it again to Nadal. Nadal just was too much force.
Yeah, we'll find out here around the second turn that Nadal is just too good for Wells Bayou. But they did the right thing with Wells Bayou again, Dan. He caught a bit of a flyer there at the start. They just went to the lead. That's his running style. And listen, he did his best with his early advantage here, but Nadal's a fast horse too, and he just kept up with him the entire way.
This was the key to the race. Could Nadal settle down in the early portion of his races and sit off of a target? And as you see, Joel Rosario has Nadal comfortable in second position right now, waiting to pounce. This tactical speed could really pay dividends for Nadal down the road. King Guillermo, the upset winner of the Tampa Bay Derby, he's in the pocket, sitting in 4th position right now, and he's being ridden hard by Sammy Camacho. Once he gets out into the clear, Mike, it looks like for a brief second he has a shot at Nadal. He's second best, but he validated his performance in the Tampa Bay Derby. He's no fluke.
Yes, that is true, Dan. That's a very good point. He did validate his Tampa Bay Derby. He did get a good trip in this race, sitting right in behind, but you can see him here. He's out. He's working really hard to try to get to Nadal. And he's going to continue this run all the way down to about the 16th pole, Dan. I mean, he is really game in here. Nadal, we already know he's a real fighter. He is not going to let King Guillermo into this race, but this horse ran well to be second in here.
Look at Finnick the Fierce at a giant price on the outside. This horse was graded stakes placed as a 2-year-old at Churchill Downs. He historically had a problem getting out of the gate in his races. He was better in here, and he ran a really nice third. No match for King Guillermo or Nadal. I'm not sure what that means about the horses that finished behind Finnick the Fierce, but it was an improved performance nonetheless.
I agree. I thought this horse ran really well in this spot, just like the top 2 finishers did. Maybe he's not quite to their level, but I thought he ran really well in here, sort of mid-pack most of the way. He was dead game through the stretch, though, and never stopped trying.
Farmington Road is a horse that does not have a lot of early speed. He dropped back to last again in the early portion of this race. Javier tried to get into it, the middle part. I'm beginning to wonder if this is just a plodding sort of horse that, he wants a longer distance of ground.
Yeah, maybe. That running style, it's a real detriment to his chances every time he runs. I mean, he just gets outrun last every week. I, sort of understand what Javier was doing in this spot because, I mean, he actually tried to get this horse going into a run up the backstretch. It was very early in the race, so he asked a lot of Farmington Road to make a run that's that long, and Farmington Road couldn't do it. But you know what? When you're last early, you don't really have a lot of options as a rider.
Just couldn't find the excuse for last year's 2-year-old champion storm the court. He was sitting outside of King Guillermo on the backstretch. It looked like he was moving a little better than King Guillermo on the backstretch. And then at the 3/8 pole, he just came up empty. And now we have to start questioning this horse's overall quality.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile from last year, for better or worse, it's just turned out to be a really bad race. And that was validated again on Saturday when the 1-2 finishers came back in these 2 divisions, and neither one of them ran particularly well. I didn't see the excuse for Storm the Court. He was no good in here.
Silver Prospector, the winner of the Southwest. I think 1 1/8 might have been pushing it a little bit for him in this race. It's worth noting that when he wins his races, he gets perfect trips. This was just a race where he did not fire at all, and I'm beginning to wonder if, the long Oaklawn Road thus far has taken its toll on him and that maybe he needs a little break.
That's, certainly possible, Dan. I mean, he debuted last June, and he has not had a layoff since then. He's just gone basically straight through from race to race. He did not run well in the Rebel before this. That was over a wet track. He did not run well in this race either, and he had a pretty good trip, too.
Nadal earned a 98 Beyer speed figure. This was the slightly faster division of the Arkansas Derby, 15/100ths of a second faster than stablemate Charlatan in the first division. He's very game, he's very tactical, he's very good. King Guillermo did not disgrace himself at all. He ran a really nice race, and I'm extremely curious to see if maybe he has a step forward down the road. And as for the rest, they have some lengths to find if they're going to get to Nadal and King Guillermo as this long, winding road to the Kentucky Derby continues.